It's very rare that you see a modern Lambo get rear-wheel drive. Especially on one of the baby Lambos, like the Huracan or the Gallardo. In fact, the Gallardo only ever got one rear-wheel drive version. The 550 Balboni. Which makes sense. This is rear-wheel drive. But it's not a Gallardo. It's a CDT fake model. And it's rear-wheel drive. Should make it an interesting drift car, eh? Roll the intro! Tonight on CDT, the return of a legend, a car we all know and love, the Lamborghini Gallardo is back. And this time, it's a drift car, and it's rear-wheel drive. And for a drift car, it actually handles well? All that and more coming up later, but for now... Hello everyone, welcome back to CDT, it is me Ditto. And welcome also to a car that's causing a little bit of controversy. People are trying to decipher whether 1 million points in the drift race is really worth it to get this car, because that's how much you have to get in this particular event. This also means it's not going to be staying for very long in long-term reviews. Fortunately, I have something very special lined up for it. You'll figure that out, well, you'll be told that 2 weeks' time. But for now, let's talk about this actual car. The drifting Lamborghini Gallardo. Little bit of controversy here. Now, it's not the very, very rare Lamborghini Gallardo that was in CDT but got removed with all the other Lambos. That was the Gallardo Superleggera. Part of the same event as the Hot Rod. And that's rare as hell as well. Bacon, I am so jealous that you have that Hot Rod. But, no, this one's actually based on a standard Gallardo. Which was also in CDT, but much more common. Literally from this map as well. And just an event car, no limited numbers like the Victor Rap. And I'm also thinking that this car may have something to do with the reason Lamborghinis weren't returned with a fake model for so long. Because in CDT there have been 2 drift events. The inaugural drift event and the drift season. And in the inaugural drift event, they had 2 limited, the Ford RTR and the Nissan S15 Falcon. But the ending car of the actual event was Mad Mike's Lamborghini Huracan drift car. And then with the drift season, no limited, just cars. And the ending car to the drift season was a drift Lamborghini Murcielago. Lamborghinis are the ending of all CDT drift events, so seems fitting that this one is also the end of the CDT drift events. And boy, this one was interesting, because it was very small, only 2 cars. This one was 1 million points, and that caused a bit of controversy. I mean, it's not like they made points easier to get since the last drift event, and it's not like the drift Lamborghini Huracan was also 1 million points in the drift event. So, shut up. It's actually not too special performance-wise. Well, not in this tune anyway. This is the standard tune. This is the tune you'll get it with when you complete the drift event. But I happen to have been driving it fully upgraded. All-wheel drive, max brakes, but most importantly, max engine and turbo. And believe me when I say this, but that may or may not have something to do with a little test coming up, both next week and the week after, in long-term reviews. And if you haven't already worked it out, allow me to give you another clue. Mercedes CLR and Ford RTR. If you're not stupid, then you'll have worked it out. This thing is an RTR rival when it's fully tuned. However, it's not fully tuned as I'm driving it right now. So, unfortunately, the performance is just a bit average. Pity for a Lambo, but, you know, At least I know what it's like when it's tuned. But bizarrely enough for a Lambo, especially a drift one, it's the corners where it shines. This is, well, getting closer to a Hooney Pegasus than I was expecting. It's still got the typical drift car understeer, but it's definitely one of the best drift cars I've ever driven in the corners. Look at this. This is actual cornering at 140. Brakes are good and needed because obviously it's not a normal car, so you have to brake a lot for the corners. But even so, the steering is incredibly responsive, and while it is very understeery, as I am proving right now, it's still better than you'll get from pretty much any other drift car you care to mention. And that's a positive. It's really good. Still, with all that grip, now we're going to go and undo all of that with a test that requires you to have not much grip. I know it's a drift Lambo, but here we go. Interesting. I think that was more driver error, to be honest. Right. Turn it in. Handbrake. Okay, I can work with this. Handbrake. Forgot to chain the drifts. Yeah, obviously drift cars are set up to chain drift rather than just go in, slide sideways, come out. Right, here we go. That was actually pretty good, and I'm still drifting. Damn it. Drift cars aren't nearly as good as drifting as you expect them to be. They're very different. You've got to learn how they drift. And eventually, you can have some good fun with them. None more so than in this Lamborghini. This is exactly how I remember my Huracan feeling, and it's how I remember my Murcielago feeling. Light, nimble, and you know that you can send it sideways, and come out with a silly grin on your face. Great fun. Really good. Just got to bring it to heel. So, bigger driver, and this is one of the best cars you can drift. Great one. Unfortunately, we now must subject it to time on the circuit. I do it with all my cars, and while this is literally not going to have an effect on whether you like the car or not, because that's not why you've got it, you know, we may as well do it. And remember, this is probably one of the best cornering drift cars there is, so maybe it shows a little promise. Right, come on. 193 mile an hour top speed, rear wheel drive, 7.5 handling rating. That's all the stats. Here we go. Right, turn in. That was bad. Ooh, that was massive understeer. That was good through that corner though. You are on the limit of grip, but on sweeping turns, that's actually a good thing. Brake. Please turn. It's got a good turning circle. If that's what you care about in a Lamborghini Gallardo. Ooh, phew. Right, please. Power. Oh, okay. 49.2. It is a shame, but this isn't why you've got this car, is it? The evidence is clear. Don't take it on a circuit, but if you want a drift car that's free and fun, well, sideways this car is an absolute hoot. And on that bombshell, thanks for watching. And you're going to see a different side to this thing when it's in long-term reviews next week. I'm really excited. Because I was fucking about with it in max tune. And rivaled an RTR. See you all then. Thanks for watching. I have just said that, but I'll repeat myself. Because you guys mean a lot to me. That was a 360. Holy fuck.